Yes, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Halftime Podcast, brought to you by not really, half of the Bhoys, not all of them.
It's shocking, really, isn't it? It's shocking.
We take attendance like a classroom here. I'm on attendance report. Apologies for my lackadaisical attendance. And yeah, I mean, Aaron's off in Turkey right now, so getting that hairline sorted.
About fucking time, eh?
Yeah, Chaz he's grazing, as you can see. Right there. Who else we missed? Oh yeah, that Jim fella. Yeah, he's still
he's betting himself.
He's on the watch after that Leeds result. But
he's on a playground somewhere.
Yeah, you're stuck with us five today: Copley, Bran, Cal, and Sip, the K-Sip. So a few topics for today, and we'll get going with the first one. New seasonal targets for United, Miggi and the Toon, and Brighton absolutely battering the most hated Premier League club in history. Chelsea,
in history?
So, yeah, I think everyone hates Chelsea, so yeah. But yeah, I mean, start of the season, Copley. United, we were sat there thinking...
I wasn't even having a meltdown. I was past meltdown. I'd gone into just depression. I was sat here complaining about how McTominay was the worst. Well, I'm not saying he's good anymore. He's still shit. But I was complaining about how he had the worst 15 minutes of his life. And now, suddenly we're sat in 5th. Could be 4th with a game. I think we have a game in hand on Newcastle.
Am I right in saying that McTominay came on as a number 10 and pushed Bruno out right?
It looked like he was playing at right wing.
Yeah, I was like, where is he playing?
Bruno was then out right.
And I was like, where is he?
We definitely have a little bit of issue with depth up top, but I don't think it's going to get fixed in January, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, from the start of the season, game 2, where we get absolutely thumped by Brentford after the Brighton battering as well. It was all doom and gloom, but the Liverpool game was the turning point, it seems. And I think the main thing for me is we've seen patches of games where we're seeing the direction we want to go. So the Spurs game was 90 minutes of it. Sorry, Sip, I'm going to mention it. Newcastle game was like a good half, I'd say. The second half we played well. The first half was Newcastle more. West Ham again, first half. Chelsea was the first 40, 35 minutes. So like you can see what we're doing, what we're trying. It's obviously not perfect. Like we are 11, 12 games in. It's not going to be perfect. But now you can see there is some direction and some players are buying into this philosophy.
See,
I feel like go on.
Well, I was just going to say, like, I think I remember saying it during the Newcastle and definitely the Chelsea game. I think in the first half, obviously we looked like we're controlling the game. I think we did against West Ham the other day as well, yesterday. But I think I've said every time, if we don't get a goal or even 2 goals before half time, there's a high chance we're losing this game. And obviously in those 3 games, we've walked away with 5 points.
That second half against West Ham, that whole result is owed to David De Gea pretty much.
Yeah,
last
phenomenal.
See, I said this to Copley. I said this to Copley.
The last 10 minutes.
Yeah, Copley saying the last 10 minutes, but my argument to that is United had a decent first half, right? Like you got the goal just before, like shortly before half time. Like it was a good showing for what you were trying to do. But West Ham's effort in the second half was better than United's in the first. So
I think there's an argument for it,
yeah. And I think it wasn't just the 10 minutes. Like me and Jordan were watching it, and it was like every 3 or 4 minutes.
Relentless.
Antonio came on. He changed the game in the physicality wise.
Yeah.
You had Declan Rice pushing further up. You had Ben Rama?
He was good.
Was it Ben Rama?
Yeah. Ben Rama started off well, and then
he started off well, went missing for like the middle 40 minutes, like either side of the half, and then came back on and flourished. Like I'm really starting to see United have like identified themselves with the way that they want to play football now. It's just whether a case you keep that up for the full game.
And Copley, you can probably agree to this as well. Every time we've had a corner, or we've been defending a corner or defending a cross, we've always especially with Maguire, Lindelof at the back, we're always thinking, right, there's a high chance of 89% chance that we're going to concede here. And
I'm a bit indifferent because
the amount of times West Ham
near our box, I'm shit myself.
I mean, yeah, true. But every time West Ham have whipped in that ball, I'm like, fucking hell. But every time we dealt with it, whether it's a Dalot little touch, whether it's Martinez, I think even Maguire got a couple of good headers in there.
Maguire done well
He did all
relative
right,
to the-
actually.
He's
Yeah.
perfect for
Relative
that.
to the
That last 10
expectations.
minutes. That last 10 minutes is what Maguire's going to be good at. When
The
you're parked in your
scrappy
box and
defending,
they're just
yeah.
going high ball, high ball, high ball. Like we saw in the first half, there was like 2 instances where they were trying to counter, and he was just there like, oh fuck, I'm in no man's land. Didn't know
Like,
whether to go
yeah.
to the ball or run
But
back,
the-
and he just
But
got
like
caught.
Sip alluded to it, right? Like Maguire done all of that. So we're all sitting there praising Maguire for what he did in the last 10, 15. But on top of that, De Gea saved it as well. So
Oh, massively, yeah.
imagine it was like one or the other. Imagine you didn't like
That
you know
Kurt
for a
Zuma
fact that
save. Oh.
the Kurt Zuma save, the Declan Rice save.
Oh,
like
the thing, if that
if
the
that Declan
limbs
Rice,
in that away end,
Yeah.
if
trust
that
me.
Declan Rice shot, pretty much last kick of the game, just absolutely thunderfucks it.
Now,
into the
Yeah.
fucking
He was
I'll
good
ask,
as
I'll
well.
ask you
He
two
was very
United
good.
fans, Ed. Do you think on the overall performance of the match, because I know you're a Spurs fan, Brick, do you think you deserve 3 points from that game?
Oh no, I said it. That's in the game. If that ended a draw, I wouldn't have been like, oh, that's undeserved.
Right, there we go. That's a
Yeah.
very fair assessment.
If
But
we
I
had
just think sorry, the issue with West Ham was I still believe that last 10 minutes was the only threatening, like they were putting in crosses to no one.
Their
Skamaka
crosses
was
were
not
awful.
getting near the ball. Dalot
But it
was
was
just
still
heading the ball
causing
away. They weren't
absolute chaos.
yeah,
they weren't threatening until I'd say the last 10, maybe you could say 15. They were like, it was like, right, now we're parked up
Mate,
praying. And they were
but
actually threatening our
those
goal.
those 3 were like absolute unbelievable saves from the hair. Didn't all happen in
Yeah.
10 minutes.
but
Yeah,
Like,
like,
they happened in
it
the
was-
last like 5.
I think the difference
Declan Rice and the
is
Zuma one, yeah. But
I wouldn't have been
made the number.
surprised if we conceded, but again, it's probably the hope that kills you. I also would have then expected, and it could have, similar to Chelsea, gone and got that last minute win, because I think that's just the spirit of the team at the minute. And again, it's the hope that kills you, but that's how I'm looking at the team at the minute.
And had it the week
looks,
before.
everyone is like, it looks like they're fucking putting everything in, which we haven't
Yeah.
seen in
I think-
many years.
I think the resurgence from Dalot and Shaw has been instrumental into solidifying your back four.
Yeah,
Like
facts.
knowing that you can start the game with Lindelof and Maguire. Bearing in mind the last 2 those 2 played was that absolute battering at Brentford.
I don't think
if
we
it,
can start
like-
a game with them too.
No, but like obviously if
Oh, well,
Varane,
that is in one or the other. Yeah,
one or
okay.
the other. Like if
I was
Varane's fit,
gonna
obviously
say,
Varane slots in.
I ain't starting
No,
that
but
pairing.
if you can look at those 2 now, and Maguire's just come back from injury, but if you can look at those 2 now and think, with the fullbacks that we have, with the way Dalot's playing, with the way Martinez has started this season, if you've still got a good foundation at the back, there's like it takes a bit of pressure off you. It takes a bit
Yeah,
of pressure off
100%.
Eriksen, Bruno, Rashford to all have to go up the other end and like bang 2 or 3 in.
Mm.
Now you can get 1 goal, and if you have to, like shut up shop. Not that
Yeah.
you should be doing that against West Ham for the United squad.
Yeah,
Especially at
But
home as
if
well,
it
but-
happens but if it happens like that where they start throwing the kitchen sink at you, like obviously you've got De Gea who's for the past 3 or 4 seasons. I think last season he had a decent season, but he's been like a little bit of a when's the mistake come in, or like
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
But
Now you're
solid.
starting to see
He's
him
solid.
progress as well. Like
Yeah.
we're seeing him turn into a little Manuel fucking Neuer sweeper keeper.
Yeah, that's like when he like came out for that, like I was surprised. Like
Been doing that a
genuinely,
lot.
like yeah, and
Yeah,
he's,
yes.
Yes,
he's
Stu.
really
I think-
evolved his game. And the thing is with us as well, I feel like we are a Lisandro Martinez injury away from being in serious
I
trouble.
just want to point out, if Martinez and Varane ever get injured at the same time,
Forfeit
Yeah.
games.
just
Trapped,
honestly,
trapped.
kick
I will-
off, score an own goal, and give the
I
win
will
to the
also
other
say,
team.
I think what we saw with Maguire is an issue, and what we saw with that performance in the first half, where they had their very minor kind of wall, like they're on the attack, was how slow Maguire is and how deep you have to play because of it. Like he's just not got anything. There's no point playing a high line with Maguire because you have zero hope.
No,
One
don't
ball in
get
behind
me-
just
don't get
takes
me
you
wrong.
out.
He is slow, but he is still not 100% match fit. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, no,
He's still slow.
even when he's
but-
100% match fit, we're not going to play a high
I
line.
think,
Yeah.
but we've
Or
seen
you
from
can't play as high as you would.
we've seen from top centre halves for years, especially in the Prem. If you're slow, you play like the position game. You don't get tight. Like you play to hold a position that you know will nullify whatever they've got to throw at you. Like we've seen it from all the centre halves. Like John Terry was probably one of the best at it. He was not quick at all. Thiago Silva last season, fucking unreal for Chelsea, and he's the slowest cunt I've seen since Jorginho. So,
Yeah.
like the position that they should be holding, and Maguire just lacks it when he puts on a red top for some reason. The white top though, he's fucking honestly, he's unbelievable. But
Beckenbauer.
That was my next question. Is there any way under Ten Hag that you see United ever adopting a 5-back?
No.
No, I don't think so. I think it'd be ideal for Harry Maguire, but it'd be detrimental.
I don't see why we would.
With how our fullbacks are already playing and how they're already bombing up and down the line, there's no need to put them further up tactically in terms of a 5-back, in my opinion.
I saw like threads of when he first joined. I did look at threads that he has played like a 5-back in transition.
Yeah, that's so.
But I wouldn't see it working for our team.
I'm also like, I looked at that and then thought, with the way that teams are going in the Prem as well, like the 5-back is becoming more and more like predominant. It's in like Brighton are doing it, Chelsea are doing it, Spurs are doing it. Like
but the best two teams aren't. So,
but the best two teams have got arguably the two best fucking sides in the league,
and they've got the best like system players for their system.
I mean,
yeah,
Arsenal have had these players for a few years.
Yeah.
They've now understood. I mean, they have had a few introductions. They're just ticking a lot better.
Yeah, no, I get that, but like City obviously fucking fuck that squad off, fucking absolute cheats. But like City system relies on their manager, not the players. Like half their squad can play any position on that pitch. I'm convinced. You could put fucking De Bruyne at centre half and he'd do a job.
Oh,
he would.
Right. Whereas United have, I think, a very rigid squad for the system that Ten Hag wants.
Yeah.
So when you say about like the depth being off, especially with the forward players, I'm sitting there going, is by bringing in more players, is that system going to work for those players? Because it's very player like oriented.
But I think that's why you bring in players to fit that system.
That's why he's brought in players he knows.
Yeah, like the Malacia signing was unreal when he first came in. Obviously, Shaw's resurgence as well.
Shaw's got a degradation kink.
I tell you what, every time a replacement's been signed for Shaw, or at least another player needs to be threatened, Shaw's had the season of his life. He had the season of probably his career when Tellez came in,
for the Euros.
which I think it was the Euros season, and now obviously we're seeing him having a very, very good season.
In form again.
Are we also
in form the past couple of games?
Are we also seeing, because the World Cup's so soon, these players now start to make like statements for them? Yeah, like because me and Sid were talking about it. Are players holding back?
I was going to say some people say that.
The fact that the World Cup's so soon, they're preventing injury.
An injury away.
But there's certain players who know they're going. Do you know what I mean? So
like Kane, stuff like that.
Kane, Sterling, like But Shaw, obviously, I think he's pretty much guaranteed, really, because we've got him and Chilwell. But for him, he's thinking, I've got to fucking be there. Do you know what I mean? So
I don't want to be on the bench.
And the fact that Chilwell's now getting game time as well, obviously, would have put that in contention.
I think the thing as well, it's a bit different for us because I think a lot of these players, I mean, even Dalot, we wouldn't have said he wouldn't have been this good last season. I know Brick was a big fan of him last year, but he wasn't consistently as good as he's been this year. De Gea's improved a lot. Shaw's now seen improve. Rashford's improving. Sancho's not. He had like his little start, but hasn't been. You're gonna joke 'cause he's been injured every year. Martial's been doing well when he comes on. Sid loves it. All these players, even Bruno this season, not like, again, it's not the whole season. I'm not saying the whole season, but the past few games especially, some of them are like doing the right things again. Where last season they were just doing everything wrong.
I think I
think it's just the coaching. Like we said at the start, before a ball's kicked, we have got the players, the quality. It's just they need to be coached correctly. And I think we're seeing that a little bit.
The coaching has obviously been the biggest aspect of why they've improved, but the work ethic that you're seeing now, in the fact that Dalot is just as good defensively and a lot better than he was last season as he is going forward, and he's getting better in both. Shaw's always been good going forward and somewhat good defensively. He was just very, very bad defensively for a time period alongside Maguire. So to see it all click, obviously you're sitting there going, fucking hell, every player can do it.
Yeah.
It might just be a flash in the pan, and we'll never know until like every team gets a hammer in a season. And
we've had ours.
No,
Yeah.
but
They've had their
the-
three.
the chances are it's gonna like you'll get beat again, and
Well,
then
that's what I
when
mean.
that's when it comes down to how good are our players to go. Yeah, that's in the past. We're gonna
Yeah.
get back to how we were playing.
This
you know
took
what I mean?
Arsenal 3 years. If we're being like,
Yeah,
this is Arteta's third, not full
Mm.
year. I think he came in January, didn't he, or something?
This is technically
So-
his 4th season, but it's like 3.5 years he's been at Arsenal, I believe.
Oh, so yeah, he's
I
been there at
believe.
least 3. And I mean, I wouldn't watch them intently, but they finished what 7th, 5th, or 8th, 5th, one of the two.
Yeah.
So the fact that I think it's a lot down to other teams around us as well not being as good as we expected. But
Mhm.
from what I'm seeing, it's like there is definitely like I can see already where we're going, which I didn't expect it to be this quick, especially after the start season.
And
Yeah,
considering
it's-
at the start of the year, I think a lot of us said on one of our podcasts that this is probably like
Chalk the season up, get it done.
more of a miss year for United, just kind of testing
Yeah.
the waters. After
Yeah.
12 games, probably a third of the way through, seeing us in 5th with a point. Well, if we win our game in hand, we'll go
Fourth.
joint 3rd. So 4th would be behind a goal difference to Spurs. It's obviously in terms of what the original question of new seasonal targets. Top 4 is definitely up there, and look, if we get there, look, I don't want to sound like bull, but it wasn't my pre-season predicting. So
He did say it.
Come on.
There's one thing. There's one thing I'm worried about, and Sips mentioned it a few times with us, is the big game tax. And we've now played all the big teams. We played the top 5, Newcastle, West Ham, which you'd consider the other 2 kind of fringe top teams. So now it's, can we beat your Forests, your Villa?
It's your intensity when it doesn't
It's
Yeah.
not matter
block,
as
isn't
much.
it?
Because
It's a
But
low
when
block.
and
Even-
breaking down a low block, we saw
Yeah,
against Ammonia. Obviously, we did all right against Spurs and against Sheriff. They played low blocks. We did all right, but can you do that consistently?
Yeah.
it's
And-
just. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, it's just I was literally probably about to make the same point as you. It's just about sort of playing those smaller sides, the sides that have actually just battered us, like the Brentfords and the Brightons. 'Cause, I mean, surprisingly, we've absolutely just the results that we've got against the big teams have been unbelievable. Like Liverpool, like even that Chelsea game. Like there's some games where last season we'd just roll over and lose. That West Ham one being an example as well.
Last year
it's
it was a
just
similar
nice to-
story. We play the top, besides Liverpool, where they stumped every time. We play the top 6 clubs, and we give them a good
Yeah.
game. I think we still lost to City twice. I don't know about the others.
Beat battered us twice. Liverpool
obviously,
battered us twice.
one of the
Chelsea
City
we drew
games.
once.
Oh no, that was probably
Of course, you
2
beat
seasons
us
ago.
twice.
But anyway,
Yeah,
as you
Ronaldo
say,
beat you. Ask
Yeah.
Conte,
Well,
it was Ronaldo.
I mean, I don't want to.
Too right.
Let it
Obviously,
go.
with top 4 being well within your sights now compared to the start of the season,
Definitely
There's
there,
a-
yeah.
there's another club that's encroaching on that very, very
Yeah,
quickly.
yeah. Who's that,
And-
Bran?
Who's that? It must be what, Brighton.
But now, obviously, we watched a lot of Newcastle. We watched some continuous draws at the start of the season.
yeah.
What are we all feeling about them now? Because I'm obviously an avid Newcastle fan, but from your guys' perspective of not giving a shit about the team, I want to hear where
I
you
think
stand on it.
You're playing well. I think there's an element of riding the wave in terms of just momentum, and it's just doing it. I think you're probably it's easy to say, but 2 or 3 injuries away from.
It's a lot of clubs though.
That's the same. So it's about that. But I mean, this one thing where it's just the fans are going into every game believing in the team. So there's no reason why the team don't believe in themselves. So they just fucking go for it.
Like, obviously, the fan base is always going to be there with us, right? And everyone's known that for years. Like, even under Bruce, even before that under Ashley, like, it was still, the fans were always there. The fans
Yeah,
always
that never
wanted
wavered.
something. It will never waver. We could be in fucking League 2 playing Bristol City, right? At a fucking absolute inflatable dome, and the fan base will still be there. I think there is a huge element of riding the wave, but I think the ride in the wave, it's a wave of confidence in the fact that we've tactically, with the players that we've got, have somehow improved on such a large scale that the understanding of what we need to do game by game, not just an like identity of playing football, but game by game. The way that like when we come up against Spurs, the way that he set the team up to go out their way to stop Spurs playing the way that they did. All right, we got extremely lucky with the first goal, right? And then Miggi just a little touch of genius to get past Longley.
He's been fantastic as well.
But tactically, that those 11 players that start week in, week out, I can't fault a single one of them.
I think
Apart from
I
Longstaff. Actually, apart from Longstaff, you little ginger cretin. Fucking touch the ball. No, I'm joking. Come on the podcast, please.
We've said it. We've probably said it for the last like 2-3, God knows how many weeks. But how I was going to say Eddie Hearn, but Eddie Howe has transformed. Effectively, still the same team that Bruce had.
I think
besides well,
a few key
Pope,
players is a bit.
Trips, but even
Bruno, Botman.
So Eddie Howe's only
Chris
been
Wood.
But
how he's transformed this team, and obviously giving the fans that hope again. Total credit to him. Honestly, I'm surprised he didn't win manager season last year, and he's in contention for it again this year. I won't lie.
I mean,
that's what I mean. I don't think it's riding the wave. I had Newcastle as my overachievers.
There's an element of it.
Because
there's an element of it just purely for the like we can look at the way that we played against City. We looked at City and went, all right, 2 games in, we're gonna have a go.
Like, yeah, but you were 19th when Eddie Howe took over. Yeah. You went all the way up to 10th. Like that's never been done, I'm pretty sure, or something.
That's not.
And
see, I agree there. That's not riding the wave.
Yeah. You're still from that, so I don't think it's riding the wave. I just think you're a good team, and you're challenged. I just think you're in January. You'll probably make a signing or 2. It wouldn't surprise me. You can, but it's not like you're not just going to chuck money like you did with Chris Wood, the fucking clown. I think come the summer, I think you'll make another signing here, another signing there, and I think it's all just ticking in the right direction. Yeah. And I think again, it's a bit of other top 4 teams underperforming a little bit, where those draws that you would have liked to have won aren't affecting you as much already. I generally think you finished top 6 quite comfortably right now.
75 quid.
Just the way you're playing. Obviously, I've always said not Almiron. Gucci Band was a bit overrated by Newcastle fans, in my opinion. He's been good this season. He's been good this season. Obviously, coming back from injury will be a big thing for you. But Miggi Almiron is unstoppable. He's unstoppable.
I'm playing him because I had him in my dream team before he even started this little run. He's
in mine this week.
Solid.
So watch. I remember 2 out of 10 incoming.
I remember that
2 out of 10.
I think it was a Friday evening. And Sip said to us, "Brian, do you think Miggi starts?" And I was like, "I fucking hope so, because if I see Ryan Fraser on the right wing, I'm gonna fucking rope myself." And then he started this. He started this game.
Week 3.
Yeah, he started this game, and it was from City onwards. And I was sitting there going, like, I knew that he was a little work rate merchant, but he started to produce, and I was like, right, okay, where the fuck's this going? You know those little, like, plastic balls you used to get as a kid? You used to open them up, and you used to get like a different alien each time. Like a rubber egg. It's like that. You open a plastic ball each game. You didn't know what you were gonna get, and then I think that game against Fulham, just like boom, like. Where he scored the volley into the far corner.
Oh, yeah. Like, the thing is, he's scoring good goals.
He's scored like
the goal this weekend was good as well.
Yeah, the production at the end of everything that he's doing at the moment is second to none in terms of it's always leading to something. There's never like a wayward thing now with him. Now I've said this, watch him fucking at the weekend, mate.
I have just brought him in my FPL, so him and Kane are dropping 2 out of 10s. I'm sorry, Sip, he's coming as well. No. I've got a curse, I'm convinced. Tony's out for a week, and then they play City, so I need him gone.
I'm just having a look at this on FPL. Who had a head injury for Newcastle to make 6 subs?
Martinez. So, this was funny, right? Because
Newcastle to make 6 subs.
Yeah, we were the first ever team to make 6 subs in a game. So
Martinez.
Yeah, so the ball's gone through. Mings is like tussling with Wilson. Wilson's got in front of him, and Martinez has came out, caught it, but Mings has just kneed him straight in the side of the head.
But how does Newcastle make 6?
Because if Villa are allowed a concussion sub, it doesn't count as one of their 5.
Yeah,
and
but
therefore
Newcastle made 6 subs.
Villa made 5 subs. So Newcastle are allowed 1 concussion sub, technically a sub, because Villa can't just have 6 subs and Newcastle only have
yeah,
5.
makes sense.
In the essence of like fairness. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like, yeah,
That
makes sense.
The fact it took you that long to work that out.
Well, no, because Cal said who did Newcastle bring on to make 6 subs, and you went
Yeah.
Martinez, and
Oh,
then
I
said
was-
the whole
I
story
was a bit
about
lost there.
Villa.
I thought he was insinuating what happened for Newcastle.
No,
to
no,
make
no,
six
I
Said
got
subs.
who
that
came
bit.
off for Newcastle.
But
Yeah, we changed half the squad.
The team.
I was like,
Yeah.
what's Martinez?
I think my only concern, if I was a Newcastle fan, which you've mentioned, is how demanding Eddie Howe's play style is, and again your lack of quality of depth. Because you're seeing Joelinton run for 95 minutes a game. You're seeing obviously Callum
Yeah,
Wilson
true.
is
Shall I tell
playing
you
majority of
what,
games.
what backs us up here, right? No European football.
I was about to say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
And
Next
World
year,
Cup, and
when-
World Cup break
next year
as
you're
well.
going to have European
But
football.
I can
Calling it.
almost guarantee it, right? When it comes to the World Cup, Bruno will be going.
Yeah.
Whether he plays or not, different story. Joelinton's in
Trips.
with a shout now. Trips.
Pope. Probably won't
Netherlands.
play.
Netherlands didn't
Botman.
qualify, did they?
Yeah.
They did.
I think
No,
so.
they did, yeah,
Botman.
Botman's in there, yeah,
Yeah.
Botman's in there.
Botman's in there.
Where's Shaw from? Is he Uruguayan?
No, Shah will go with Switzerland.
Yeah, Switzerland.
Yeah.
Is he Swiss?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Pope
yeah.
will go as a backup or
Yeah, I don't
number
think
1,
he'll
depending
play.
on what way he goes. Wilson's in with a big shout now. Miggi, thank fuck he plays for Paraguay. Um,
Gucci Band, I don't think will go.
I don't think Maxi will go.
No.
So on the flip
Willock
side,
won't go.
Willock won't go. On the flip side, we've got a lot of players where we can sit there and go, right, you know,
Rest.
yeah,
Go and
7-8 weeks.
Go sit on the
Fucking
beach.
listen, yeah, go sit on a beach, put your fucking Barbados sightseeing shirt on, and sip a pina colada. Just chill, smoke a cigar, do whatever the fuck you want.
Just
and then
come
on the
back
other
fit.
hand, we've got all of our key players going. And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake! Like, I'm happy for them, but at the same time, I'm a little bit like, what happens after? The only good thing is that the end of the World Cup, very close to January. If we manage to get our hands on Maddison, hands on Diaby, I'm going to be a very, very happy man.
Yeah.
It wouldn't
Very
surprise
happy.
me if
Very good winner.
Newcastle were in and around that top 4 race come a few. It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
It's
Wouldn't
not like
surprise me,
guaranteed.
but it wouldn't deflate me if we lost out towards the end of the.
I think
because-
10th and you get say 7th even this year, or I think you should get 6th. I think that's still. It's one of those.
I
At the
just
start of the
don't-
season, you said yes, but how as the season goes on, would you take it? You don't know.
I just
when.
don't see now if we play some of the other best of the rest teams, West Ham, Brighton. Brighton's a bit of a bogey one actually because
Yeah,
they're playing really
they're a
good
coin
football.
flip.
Yeah, but like West Ham, Palace, you look at our squads now, and I'm sitting there going, "Yeah, let's have them." Whereas last season, even after Eddie took over, I was sitting there going, "This is a little bit squeaky bum."
Mm.
Like it was little 1-0s here and there, and it was I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good second half of the season.
Yeah.
Fingers
And-
crossed.
And also another team that's kind of on the rise, surprising us. Thought they were going to be a bit of a yo-yo team, as they've notoriously have been. Fulham in 7th.
Yeah, there's
looking-
no. I don't think anyone was ludicrous enough to put them in a race for that
My
kind of top 8.
overachievers.
But
But-
Come
actually-
on, Sipple.
Nice.
no
Pretty
ball.
sure. I think so.
To be fair, you do look like the Fulham manager.
I mean, you did give a lot of love to Big Alexander.
Yeah, Mitrovic.
So did Brand. Brand loved him at the start. Yeah. Well, the issue with him, he should have got another red at the weekend. I saw.
Yeah.
He's had a couple of. He's a nasty little. See you next Tuesday.
I mean,
a nasty bastard.
He is. But
He
no, I
is
think
what he
they're
is.
sat in 7th, and I think it's something crazy. Like they're a few points behind. Yeah, they're 3 points behind us.
I
Two
don't
behind. I mean, they got a game
Like,
in hand.
listen,
No,
but
but the thing is,
I think-
even if Fulham will only, sorry, not Fulham, Liverpool will only go above them if they win the game in hand based on goal difference, and that's it.
I just
Right,
think
I just
no one
wanna
expected them to be
point
7th
out
here.
as well, right? Nobody expected them to be 7th, right? And in comparison to teams like Forest, who came up, who else came up?
Bournemouth.
Obviously,
Bournemouth are currently
Bournemouth
14th.
Bournemouth are
They've fallen
fucking
off a little bit.
yeah.
but-
They fell off a little bit, but they were
They're a bit naughty.
they were trundling along for a little while, weren't they? So,
Yeah.
but I'm just looking here, right? They brought in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Fulham in the summer brought in 11 players,
They've
5
got
on
some
loan,
decent
and they got
footballers in
they
for
got
them
their
that are
recruitment.
performing.
Like Diop at centre half.
Yeah,
Good.
They got Pereira.
Pereira's
and
playing.
listen,
I keep seeing him on FPL getting an
when-
assist on my bench, just
after-
sat there.
listen, after FIFA last year, would I, in my dreams, think Mbabu would play for Fulham? They got Leno from Arsenal,
yeah,
which is an absolute steal.
He's doing
for,
well.
Yeah,
for 3 million, by the way.
yeah.
Willian
weirdest
on a
one-
free.
The weirdest
who's
one,
playing
Willian's
30
performing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Willian's actually
Willian.
balling out as well. That's the
Listen,
thing.
Dan James on a loan from Leeds, right?
Who
Little
knew?
fucking
Roadrunner.
roadrunner. Beep beep. Fucking, he's off with the ball. Like they've done their recruitment, so I'm not surprised to see them surviving. I just didn't think that it. I think it's just maybe
yeah,
everyone around them's underachieving.
They could
but-
fall off
Yeah.
very easily, but I think
Yeah, it could,
being
they
sat
could-
in
they
seventh
could
right now,
collapse,
they do deserve a mention.
Yeah, they do.
Again, if they can keep even half this momentum going, let's say they finish by the time the World Cup comes around, because everyone's kind of well, that is a proper winter break. So let's say World Cup comes around, they're sitting even top 10. You fucking take that, because how many players for Fulham are probably going to the World Cup?
Babu,
Tenchin Babu, maybe Tete, potentially. I don't know how respected he is in Netherlands.
Dan James.
Babu,
Yeah,
Dan James,
Pereira,
He will go.
Palinha.
I was going to say that Paulinho, the little
He's
Portuguese
not.
midfielder.
He's really good.
Whenever I watch him, I don't watch him religiously, but whenever I do, he does look decent.
I remember
but-
watching him in the 2018 World Cup, and he was all right in the middle there, but then didn't really hear much from him until he's gone
like,
to.
Bottom line is like what Copley said. I think those fringe teams around the 7th to 12th are all coin flips against each other, because when they play against each other, it's the biggest mid-off ever. We're even seeing Liverpool, right, who is in that group. They shouldn't be, but let's be realistic. They are in that group at the moment with the way they're playing. Are having mid-off games against Leeds, Palace, all of
Literally.
these.
Forest.
Literally,
Forest.
and
We'll
honestly,
get onto it.
I feel like that's a perfect segue into just us laughing at Liverpool for a bit.
Chip, you were
Sensational.
you were out the afternoon/evening that Liverpool played. What was your reaction when you came home?
That's the thing. So I seen a picture online of that Adams and that Aronson like smiling, and I was thinking, I'll check the score, and I was like, they fucking won. I was like, what do you mean the Leeds have gone to Anfield and won? I was like,
But
And
Leeds broke the Van Dijk record.
They broke the
The
Van
thing
Dijk
is,
streak.
unfortunately, we played it at the weekend, so I'm saying nothing.
Now that
They're a
could be a
great
mid
side.
off.
If you lose to them, you know it is what it is. You've got to bow down to greatness sometimes. They truly are a real marvel that we'll never see again in the Premier League. So.
Yeah, and like one title in 32 years. And that's it. That's their peak. See you later, Liverpool. Sayonara. See you later. Peace.
Honestly, we did mention them a lot last week, but they just can't score a fucking goal. I don't know what it is. Like Darwin Núñez, I didn't watch it all again, but the 30th minute I saw him go through 1-on-1, but he got like lost the ball at his feet. This guy he can strike a ball, don't get me wrong,
Bandy.
but that's about fucking it.
I'm convinced someone's putting Ket in his water bottle.
Like,
He's so off his trolley when he plays. Like you know that really rapid kid that everyone had at school, where like if you ping the ball 30 meters in front of him, he'll get onto it. But if you give the ball to his feet, if you give the ball to his feet, you just want to go over there and slide tackle him yourself.
The thing
That's
is,
Núñez.
well, I'm a little bit worried if he does start scoring, he does get in all right positions and is getting these chances.
I think
so
the
if he
runs
starts
he makes
scoring
as well.
If he starts scoring, it could be a little bit.
If he had a bit of spatial awareness for where the fucking back four was against most teams, he'd be a decent little striker.
Hey,
But
He's
for now,
scoring at the weekend, I guarantee.
For now, we'll thrive off that he's an absolute donkey.
All Liverpool need to do is they need to put him through that spatial, like hazard perception test on the whole.
get him in a toy car and get the fucking traffic
literally.
cones out.
Yeah, get the
Darwin,
traffic
don't
cones
go
out.
past these until the ball leaves his foot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the thing is,
Literally.
talking about Darwin, obviously everyone's saying like it's only a matter of time until he starts banging in goals. I just don't even see an inkling of it though.
No,
I
not at all.
I do see
I
because
s-
his movement and
His
his
movement
his
is
composure is just lacking. I
Well,
think
when he's on
He's
side or
yeah.
offside, because he's more
when
offside
he's
than
on. When that's the thing.
So
Sometimes he's
if
just
he could
full on
make the
donkey.
run half a second after when he thinks he should
We
be
know
making the
we
run,
know he has the
he'd be
pace now.
fucking lethal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the
It's
fact that
just-
he starts, and I don't know whether it's people like Trent not releasing it quicker, or the fact that he goes, oh, I need to run. He's off. He is gone, and he does have the pace. And I
He's
think
rapid.
if he's onside 50% of the time, as he's caught offside, he'd have a lot more goals. It's just
Liverpool
Yeah.
Forest. West Ham game. West Ham game. He could have had 3 or 4.
Yeah.
He was in the right positions. He just went to thunder twat it instead of place the cunt.
I mean, who did they play in the Champions League? Was it
Rangers.
Rangers,
after that?
Napoli,
After that, it was Ajax, right?
Ajax.
I have never
Yeah.
seen this fella get spoon-fed so many chances to put the ball. Like he's a wonderful player to watch when, like, if he could finish. Yeah, if he
Yeah.
could finish. Like his movement is unreal. His pace is like he's definitely one of the quickest players in the Prem. He's going to cause back fours absolute havoc.
Decent in the air.
D-
Shit with the ball
decent
at his
in the
feet.
air.
Absolute donkey.
Greasy
Can't pass the
ponytail.
ball.
Little bit like Andy Carroll. He will come on and he will start bagging, but
Hopefully not.
Yeah.
it's
Hopefully
just
not.
whether
Please.
it's just whether
Scores a hat trick against.
it's whether Bo Gomez can not make
he
shit
shouldn't be playing at
mistakes.
centre
It's
back.
whether Trent can start actually defending. It's whether Hendo can actually start doing something when he comes on. Milner's
Mhm.
look one of their most consistent players.
And he's in the retirement home. He
Yeah.
literally, he's got a poo bag. He's that he's
Ah.
that old. Do you know what I mean? Bless him. But
Don't. Don't. No one say it.
Moving
But
on swiftly.
Moving on swiftly, Chelsea, another team that we love to see lose. Chelsea, I tell you what, I don't know about anyone else. I fucking hate Chelsea so much, especially them going back to their old team. Potter's old team, and just getting absolutely played out the park. 4-1.
2 own
Bash.
goals as well.
2
I
own
think it could
goals.
have been more. Watching the highlights, I think it shows 2 Brighton chances being cleared off the line.
Thiago
their
Silva
first
clears
goal,
2 off the line quite well.
Before
Yeah.
before they'd even
I
scored
mean,
first.
one
you
of
know what it
them
is?
was Silva's mistake as well. So
Throwing it back to last week, Cal, it was the way Potter reacted. I think he gave Brighton the win. I think it was part of like a contractual obligation to give him the win.
Look, you all laughed
Yeah.
at me, but in reality, I'm just so clued in. I see these things.
You're so clued in that Villa went and got battered this weekend.
Yeah. And because Leon Bailey didn't do the celebration because he didn't score, he knew that it didn't mean a lot. So
Anyway, so as in there. No, I mean Brighton again. It seems like they either absolutely thump someone or they look pretty mid.
Yeah. And that's the thing, they had every incentive to turn up to that game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so it is one thing. I
A
mean,
big game.
It's not really a problem for Chelsea. I think that's their first loss under Potter really since he's come in. So
is,
it's not the end of the world, but it is just quite funny.
And it's put the end of Brighton. I think they lost 4 on the bounce. Oh no, they just hadn't won in 5.
I was
Never
gonna
mind.
say it's
Yeah.
another few. It puts Chelsea again in that they're sat 6th now, a game in hand with us, but they're in that mix again. And one thing I want to touch on is Sterling is. A few people said it in the pre-season. I think a lot of us said it.
Flop of the season, baby.
Oh, yes.
I only didn't put it because about 3 or 4 of us did, but we said that he gets so many chances at City. We've seen it for England, and we know he squanders a lot of them, and he's not going to get the same amount of chances at Chelsea. And I know some people say there's other things in the team that's causing him to do this, but he's had chances. Like I've watched the games where he's had chances, hit the post, missed. Like he's just not clinical.
This is why I had him down, because there had to be a reason that Guardiola was happy for him to leave. If Guardiola
price
doesn't think
as well.
he's integral to the team, then there's got to be a reason. And me and Brick always say during the Euros, yes, Sterling was probably our player of the season, but he missed.
Yeah.
He messes up so many chances. So and that's the thing. Chelsea were never going to be on the same level of creation that Man City were, and that's why.
People say it as well.
He looks very, very mid because he hasn't got De Bruyne putting it on a plate for him every 2 or 3 minutes.
So I mean,
He
you look at
does
his stats in the Prem, and you're like, oh, he's a great player, but it's like But if you watch his games, you'll know that he could probably have double the goals he has in the Prem already.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, facts.
I mean, I saw a comparison earlier as well. It was just a tweet, and it was just like a meme one. But Timo Werner last season, 16 games in, had 15 goal contributions. Sterling this season with 16 games has 6 goal contributions. And they were more than happy to let Werner go. And I know Werner was a bit of a meme as well because he missed some absolute sitters.
At least he
But
worked hard and got in good positions.
he worked
as well.
hard and he was happy to come on off the bench and work hard. Do you know what I mean? Like, he was happy to come on as a sub. Whereas Sterling, I feel like he's left for game
Wouldn't take
time.
well to be in
He
bench.
would not take well to coming on as like an impact sub.
He's been benched
No.
a few times.
Yeah.
Has he?
So,
Under Potter?
Well, look, he's
I'm
made.
pretty sure in the last because I have in my FPL, he's gone by the way. Miggy's in. The last
He's-
4 games, I think he's only played twice.
He's made 11 starts for Chelsea and 5. He's played every Champions League game, but he's only started in 11 Premier League games for Chelsea and
Maybe
come
he's
on
missed
and
one
come
then.
on
So I'm
once
pretty sure
as a
they played
sub.
12s. I thought he'd been benched twice, but he's been benched at least
But
once.
I mean, but even so, you don't really hear a lot from him. He's only scored, as you say, 3 goals for Chelsea this season.
It's the same thing as last year. Chelsea are lacking goals. Mount
fully.
Mount came up with a few recently, but again, yeah, they're lacking goals again.
But again, you bring in the likes of Aubameyang, who obviously the rumours are left, right, and centre that he's what he wants to go in January, or whatever. But I don't even think he's scored that many. I don't know if he started actually, but
No,
he
scored,
didn't
scored a
start.
couple in the Champions League.
From
But-
what I've seen of Chelsea, Aubameyang is bringing a lot more to what they're trying to do in the game than what Sterling has been.
Yeah,
I wonder if they
But
get Ronaldo.
I think either way, between them two, they're both not providing enough end product to justify what Chelsea are looking to do.
So I'm just looking.
Yeah.
Look, so Chelsea's front 3 against Brighton was Mason Mount, Kai Havertz, who got the goal, and Conor Gallagher. Is what the Premier League has down as their forwards who started.
I don't rate Gallagher that much.
Look, if you're thinking, as you're saying, if you're thinking goal contributions, thinking just goal output,
You're
those
not
3
looking at
players aren't going to do it. Kai Havertz hasn't done that since he's come from the Bundesliga.
Mount and Gallagher are going to get a couple here and there.
I
Havertz
think
again, it's a
Gallagher
couple
the
here
past
and
couple
there.
games has played like fairly well for what Chelsea have been like left at. Like the game against Brighton, he was the only one that I could see effectively trying to make stuff happen. And I think overall Chelsea just look very, very basic without Reece James providing them an out.
Yeah,
Like,
you can't
his-
forget
his-
that his injury.
That injury, and I'm not like full credit Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who like he will play middle of the park, he will play on the left, he will play at right wing back, like he will play further pushed up, and he does do a job, but he's not Reece James. He hasn't got that defensive stature, and then also lethal in front of goal or around the box.
Yeah,
So that it's a huge miss for Chelsea, and it's probably like a fundamental issue of why they're not getting results. When he's out, it's like, yeah.
He scored a lot of them.
I reckon Chelsea and Chelsea fans are dying for Mason Mount to be Frank Lampard, and he just won't ever be it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what they're trying to model him into. Obviously, as that kind of goal scoring number 10, which he's shown in games he can do, but to the level that Frank Lampard did in his day, I don't
Not good
ever
enough.
see it happening.
I think the big difference with that as well is that Lampard was like one of the best number 8s to ever play the game.
Yeah, exactly.
With a goal scoring record that will be unmatched by any midfielder ever.
Except Bruno
But he
Fernandes,
also
who almost
he
broke it one
also
season.
had he also had at times Ballack, Essien,
Drogba.
Like he had all these fucking
And
players.
his back line of like Ashley Cole, John Terry.
Ashley Cole, John Terry,
Ivanovic,
Gary
check.
Cahill, check. Like all of these were sitting here going, yeah, Mount should be. If you think Mount should be anything close to Frank Lampard, you're a fucking dweeb.
Yeah, but do you think they'll recruit in January, whether they have to or not?
They-
They've just spent
they
200 odd
have-
million, but
Yeah, they have
That's
to.
the thing. They bought Koulibaly and Fofana in. I haven't really seen Koulibaly starting much. Again, I may be wrong.
Did he not get
But-
sent off as well? And I think that was the
He
last
did in
time
one
that
game, yeah.
Against Leeds, he did, yeah.
Yeah, a while ago.
And I
And
think I
again,
haven't
Fofana, I
seen
think's been
him.
dabbling. I see Thiago Silva a lot still, and fair enough, he is decent. And Azpilicueta.
I mean, Dave's doing a fucking job as well. Like,
I mean,
Yeah.
they spent
that age
130 million there, or 120 million
two
on centre backs to
centre-halves.
not use.
I mean, I think they will. I think they have to, whether
The
they're
farm's for the
allowed
future,
to or not.
yeah, but
But I think that Chelsea team needs to be doing a lot better with what they tried to set out to do at the start of the season. So
Quick
Sounds
question
pondering.
before we go into Brick's team of the week. Kepa was substituted in the 45th minute. Was that?
I saw that. I didn't see why.
I assume that was an injury.
You'd imagine
I-
so.
Yeah, didn't see anything. I mean, it was 2 own goals. Not really his fault.
Yeah, it was an injury. I just went to the
Yeah.
stat.
oh, that's probably why as well, because he's been their most consistent player.
Yeah. But all in all, Chelsea are mudded, and we're all happy about that, aren't we?
Oh,
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, they,
100,
yeah.
Major.
they're on the decline.
All right then, Bricky boy.
Right.
He's got some explaining to do.
this
so-
this is going to cause some conversation.
Fucking
Look,
hell.
the thing is, right? Like, look, I'm just going to be open and honest here. Not watched that much football. I've looked at the highlights. I've looked at ratings.
The one thing
I've done my research. All right. So this has been deeply researched. And yeah, so I mean, in goal, David De Gea. I thought the fact that he saved us from dropping points was enough. Obviously, there could have been shouts for Pickford. There could have also been shouts for Melier as well. But I thought De Gea pipped it because he just looked different gravy on Sunday.
He
was
saved
the
United
reason
for
why
3 points.
Yeah.
I can get behind that pick, but
Yeah.
let's move forward, like past the back four very quickly, because I think nobody's really that worried about the back four, are we?
Yeah, no. So Dalot, Estupiñán, Tarkowski, and Trippier just says it all really.
Dallo, best
so
right
then
back in the
we've
league.
Yeah, we've got De Bruyne.
Wolves in 16, by the way.
Yeah. De Bruyne, unreal.
Argue with yourselves.
Trossard, again, unreal. Just absolutely different gravy. Scored a goal against Chelsea when they hammered them.
Yeah,
De Bruyne scored a lovely free kick. And then we've got Miggi Almiron.
Whoa. Hold up. Wait a minute.
Hold on. I'm saving the best for last. We've got Miggi Almiron, Callum Wilson, and Kiefer Moore. I thought Kiefer Moore was
Hold
very
on
good.
as well, because I know he did make the point, but I was going to make the point anyway. How you haven't put Reece Nelson in is criminal.
Just hate Arsenal. That's all. You know
I
what
hate
mean?
Arsenal,
It
but
is
he
what it is.
definitely fair
Yeah,
enough, I guess.
you know
but
what?
You know what the worst thing is? I know Reece Nelson is an out-and-out midfielder, right? But there's a player in this team of the week which I think could be easily replaced. And would you like to name him?
Exactly.
Yeah, to be fair, De Bruyne could be replaced. I do agree. But then we've got Ollie Skip.
Right, stop right there. Just stop. Right.
Why?
At least Skip, who
I'm
got
gonna-
dragged off at half time.
So in the 45 minutes that Skip played against Bournemouth away at the Shed, being
2-0
2-0
down at half-time.
down, how the fuck has he managed to make it into this team of the week?
Look, the thing is, his progressive and defensive midfield was the catalyst in
losing
the
2-0.
resurgence- in the resurgence.
Yeah,
he
by
got
getting
subbed off.
dragged off.
Well, he got subbed off, and then we won. So him being subbed off changed the game in a way.
That's what I'm saying. Thank you, Kieran. So when he got
No,
subbed
I'm not
off, he
backing
was
you on
like,
this one actually.
he was-
Like,
he was-
the thing is, I love Oliver Skip, but because you lick his arse so much, people grow to hate him just because of you. So this
Yeah,
is a
absolutely.
shambles.
Listen,
look,
I'll be the one to say it, right? Emerson Royale has more of a shout than to be in this team of the week than fucking
Oh,
Skip.
Let's
right?
not
No,
push
let's
it now,
not.
mate.
Right, let's not guess it. But Skip was
He'll never
right
make
in
the team
the
of the
first
week.
half, but he's not fucking team of the week worthy. That bricks.
Anyway.
I just want to say, honourable mention, Reece Nelson, was that his first league start for Arsenal or for the season?
For like 7 years.
Definitely.
Wait,
season,
it wasn't a
but-
start. It wasn't a start. You
Oh,
can't.
No,
sorry,
he came off for
yeah.
Saka.
First appearance, sorry.
yeah.
By the way, I
Yeah.
just want to
It
point
was.
out, Arsenal fans, you are way too predictable. Way too predictable. As soon as Reece Nelson scored his second, I went, you wait until the Sancho Nelson gets compared and watch Chaz or Aaron put it in our group chat. Bomb, Reece Nelson. I've seen it. It's trending. Sancho. 10 seconds later, Chaz puts it in. It was so predictable. we are box office. Continue. Thank you. That's what I had to say.
Well, that's
Manager as well.
And then Roberto De Zerbi, because he
deserves it.
Deserved it. We
Sit
should
real.
fucking end the show.
But yeah, no, that's it really. I mean, he's taken Potter's team and said, "Unlucky Chief, I'm winning. Sound, peace," and that's it really. That's my team of the week. Argue amongst yourselves. Yeah, absolutely.
Let us know in the comments.
Let us know
On
in the
YouTube.
comments down below on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah, on Spotify, just tweet us. Pop us a tweet.
And on the TikTok as well. That will get posted of my team of the week.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Where are all the links?
Please fucking roast him.
Down below.
Down below, baby.
Down
So
below.
yeah.
Bit of a short episode today. We love that. Good weekend of football. And we're back again. We're not live on Saturday, are we? I think we decided.
No,
No,
so
we'll be
bad.
live.
Follow the
Saturday.
Twitter and stay updated. You know what I
I
mean?
think we will be
But he's-
live at 11:45 on the Sunday.
Copley,
But the-
where can we find our Twitter? Just in case the listeners.
Down below.
Down below.
Or if you're on
Down
Spotify,
below.
it's @The Boys Presents.
On Twitter,
Or it's just Boys
TikTok.
Presents. One of the two.
Have we got an
just
Insta yet?
Twitch. No, we don't have an
Twitch.
Instagram yet. No.
No Insta,
Twitch.
no
Twitch
Insta.
is The Boys
Twitch.
Presents. Again, thank you very much for every listener today or this evening, this week, either or. Any other last comments, gents?
Aaron, your hairline's still
yes,
going to be
I
clapped.
actually do. Quick shout out, if the rumours are true, to Louis Van Gaal for getting us Lissandro Martinez, and Graham Souness, you're a pedo. That's
Good
all.
night.
Right.
Peace.